July the 7th, composites. An even larger mixture of dandelion-like flowers, composites, than last month can be seen in July. Some have been in flower for a little time, such as the dandelions, sowthistles, smooth and rough hawksbeard, beaked hawksbeard, and mousier hawkweed. All these flowers are now far more abundant and are joined by several more closely related species. This makes identification once again much more troublesome, although some common composites such as ragworts, Senecio species, and nipplewort, Lapsana communis, are easily recognized. When trying to decide whether you have found a catseer, hawksbit, hawksbeard, hawkweed, or sowthistle, it is more useful to examine the leaves, stem, and seeds rather than the flowers. Catseer, Hyperchirus radicata, is one of the most common of all, usually noticed in abundance on lawns or in closely cropped. Its flower is a brighter yellow than most, and its leaves are roughly hairy with diagnostic round blunt ends. It has long leafless stalks, up to 60 centimeters in length, with few branches and small scale-like bracts. It is these bracts that are the catseers that may help in its identification. Hawksbits also have no real stem leaves, but it is the lack of chafy scales in the flower head that can help to identify them. 3 species, lesser rough and autumn hawksbit, may all be in flower now. If the top of the flower stalk is very hairy, it is likely to be rough hawksbit, Leontodon hispidus, and if almost hairless, lesser hawksbit, Leontodon taraxicoides. Autumn hawksbit, Leontodon autumnalis, is by far the most common and is readily identified by its branching stems or deeply lobed leaves, neither of which the other two possess. Hawks' beards are another group that do not possess the chafy scales in among the flowers on the flower head. They do, however, usually have leafy stems. Another of their distinguishing features is the ring of sepal-like bracts around the flower head, giving it the appearance of a double sepal ring below each flower. Beaked hawk's beard, Crepis vesicaria, rough hawk's beard, Crepis biennis, and smooth hawk's beard, Crepis capillaris, are the most likely ones to be seen in London. Beaked is best identified by the distinctive beak or small stalk joining each individual seed to its parachute. Rough hawk's beard has no such beak but is hairless. Other similar species, such as fetid hawk's beard, Crepis fetida, has these which smell of bitter almonds, and bristly ox-tongue, Picaris echioides, has distinctive white swellings or pimples on its leaves. Yet another confusing species is hawkweed ox-tongue, Pieris hyraceoides, which lacks the white pimples but has much more waxy spear-shaped leaves. Hawkweeds are distinguished by several rows of outer bracts similar to knapweeds. They also tend to have alternate leaves, which are both spear-headed and toothed. Unfortunately, there are 260 of these in Britain, and 40 of them can probably be found around London, so identifying the composite as a hawkweed might be just as far as you want to go. There is, however, one species which is both very common and easy to recognize, and that is the mousier hawkweed, Pilosella officinarum. Its flowers are a highly distinctive bright lemon color, and their outer florets around the edge of each flower head are red underneath. It also conveniently has mouse ears, which are the elliptical ear-like basal leaves, which have a white felt underneath. We are still left with the sowthistles. These all have auricles on their leaves, which are leafy outgrowths, often clasping or surrounding the stem. There are 3 species which are ubiquitous throughout London. The smooth sowthistle, Sonchus oeraceus, has pointed auricles and is smooth. The prickly or rough sowthistle, Sonchus asper, has rounded auricles and is prickly, and the perennial or corn sowthistle, Sonchus arvensis, also has round auricles but has deeper yellow flowers and much more shiny leaves than the other 2. Finally, if this helps, the leaves of the corn sowthistle are double-toothed, whereas those of the rough sowthistle are edged with spines. The largest of all these composites, more often than not, tend to be the sowthistles, which can reach 2 meters in height. Among the more common species, beaked hawksbeard and rough hawksbeard are close behind. Other species tend to be much smaller. If all this was not confusing enough, There are then the lettuces. Grape lettuce, Lactuca virosa, has purple stems, unlike the red stems of a number of other composites. Wall lettuce, Mycellus muralis, has large triangular-ended leaves, which are often purple in colour. And lastly, the very noticeable prickly lettuce or compass plant, Lactuca cereola, has leaves with a very pronounced midrib on their underside, which is fiercely armed with prickly spines. All these characters are just tips to help a field identification of the common plants which are everywhere in July. Theseus can't have had much problem identifying the smooth south thistle, as this is what he was supposed to have eaten to give him the strength to kill the Minotaur. Other uses for this group of plants include soothing sore nipples, nipplewort, increasing the milk yield in nursing mothers, sowthistles, and improving the eyesight of hawks, hawkweeds. Great lettuce, as it smelt like opium, was infused in wine and used as a narcotic.